Bennett will take the minutes? Okay, you'll do the roll call. Okay. You're all set? Okay. Huh? Oh, it needs to go high. Yeah, I think it's on now. I think it's on. All right, we're all set? Okay.
Give me one moment.
Okay.
And no word from Jolie?
She's not coming. She said she wouldn't get home in time to get on Zoom.
Okay, no worries. Okay, we're all set. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the Crown Point Historic Preservation Commission meeting for June 23rd, 2025 to order. Jock, go ahead and call the roll, please.
Paul Bremer,
Here.
Jim Kendall,
Here.
Laura Sauerman,
Here.
Rich Osterly,
Here.
Donna Catalano,
Here.
John Oblock, Jolene Bollinger.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Approval of minutes, they were mailed out to you for the April 27th meeting. There's no correction. Motion would be in order for approval.
I would make a small correction to the top
Yes,
that says January 27th.
yeah, it's April
Should be
20,
April.
April 27th. Okay, there's a motion to amend the minute. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, minutes are approved. Reading of the agenda, we got old business, there's nothing. Under new business, we got petition 2508. Chris Pappas, petitioner, Dillinger Holding, request certificate of appropriateness for signage and facade work at 115 West Joliet Street. And petition 2509, Kenneth Turner, petitioner, owner, request certificate of appropriateness for repairs on a home at 218 East Clark Street, miscellaneous and adjournment. Anything to be added, Josh?
No, sir.
Okay, we'll go into new business then. Petition 2509, Chris Pappas, petitioner for signage and facade work at 115 West Joliet Street. Just state your name and address for the record, please, and the floor is yours.
Chris Pappas, 811 Ronnie Court, Crown Point, Indiana, 46207. Yeah, just here before you today to make those changes to 115 West Joliet, which is the old Ricochet Tacos building. We are currently just seeking approval for the signage and exterior color changes for this upcoming restaurant this fall.
Is Blake coming, Josh?
He's on.
Oh, he's on Zoom. Blake, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can everybody hear? Okay. You got anything to add, Chris, before we turn it over for a comment?
I'm sorry, say that one more
You
time.
got anything to add?
No,
Okay.
everything is that you have in front of
Okay.
you is current and still.
Okay, thank
still
you.
in plan.
Blake, we'll go to your report. You want to go over your report?
Sure. I have some questions and some general comments. So is the proposed signage, is that internally lit or will it be lit externally?
It's externally lit. Nothing lighting will change.
Okay,
On that was approved before. It's still a spotlight onto the existing signage.
okay. And I saw the sign will then be mounted into the mortar, not the brick itself. Is that how you guys are going to do it? Okay. The painting brick is not usually recommended in the courthouse district, and I wasn't sure from the rendering. Has that painting already been completed?
The paint
Was that-
there was currently existing. It's a black paint that is currently existing. We're just changing the shade of the black just to match the brand colors.
Well, I saw that it was extended up to the limestone, the green color.
Yes, I believe so. That way the signage would pop more just because it would end in half of what it is now. It could like
Okay. Well, just for the commission, so the guidelines recommend brick that is not currently painted not be painted, just because it damages the brick and creates some long-term maintenance issues for buildings for future owners and tenants as well. So that's in the report. Yeah, it looked like you had two separate renderings. So one had signage in each window and the door, and it had some vinyl, like red and white, kind of Italian tablecloth in the transoms, and then one without. It was one of those a preference, or one of the? Or are you fine with either?
The one with the vinyl decals on the exterior is what we were looking to approve. The one without was just what our sign company sent.
Okay.
Just, in separate.
So I don't per the guidelines, I don't know if Josh has done all the math on the percentage of signage in the windows and everything. The only thing I will say is the red and white and the transom. How is that going to be applied to those windows?
It's just a vinyl decal, just like very similar material that Square Roots has in front of their, but it's going to be translucent, see-through.
All right.
On the interior.
Yeah.
So,
Like
okay.
the measurement of that signage should be just fine per ordinance.
Okay. It looked like it was, but I just wasn't sure. So, let me see. Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, from staff report, the biggest issue came up was the brick being painted, so it's not really reversible. And so typically we like to make sure that things are reversible, because once that gets painted, you can't take it off essentially. So, and just to make sure that the transom, if those vinyl things are put into transoms, that they're easily removed for any future, or if you want to take them off so they don't damage the windows. Typically those aren't covered or recommended to be covered, but I think if they're reversible, then we can, I would recommend that the commission consider those. Back to you, Paul.
Okay, thank you, Blake. Open for discussion from the board members.
Well, I concur with painting the brick is will cause problems down the road for the next owner. That building's been here for a long time and it'll be used for something else sometime in the future. I like the designs on the window and everything you've done. It's very nice.
Thank you.
If you think it's necessary to run them across the transom, that's fine. I think the amount of square inches is okay. I can't measure that really.
Okay.
But I think the signage and everything looks very nice. I'm not a fan of the black paint. Not that it doesn't pop.
Yeah, it was just
I
to
don't
make
know
this.
that it's
Yeah,
needed.
it was.
I'm Corey Dedamore, 978 Teresa Drive, Crown Point, Indiana. I was the original petitioner. I am the owner of Dillinger Holdings. So the original renovation of that building was me. And now I'm back here with Chris as a new operator so I was a part of the black. I tuck pointed all of that masonry, re-tuck pointed all of it through approval. And then all the existing brick that we exposed was refurbished and painted at that time. So you approved the black brick that we did there. Now we're just going to like a lighter, like a green. Instead of black, it's green. That's the only change we're really making on that.
No, oh, go ahead.
Black.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
It's black all the way up to that line.
Up to the line,
There's
so?
there's one little band that is not black at this time. And it was because we were trying to go with a non-lit white sign that obviously I have a linear light on the awning that shines up to the building. And that's how we lit it. And we had approval for all of that at Ricochet. And because we weren't making a square backed sign on this and everything like Ricochet previously had, we were just gonna put it into the mortar joints like he requested us to do. Well, you couldn't see a white sign on it, so we're just asking to go up the color, the little bit left of it, and how the brick bumps out.
Thank you.
It's like I have to have standoffs with it and that, so that's why we just brought it up another
Yeah.
12-inch band or 14-inch band of the color, so the sign
Some
would
places
actually
says 35. 38 inches.
I think that's the whole thing.
That's from above the,
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's about a foot,
We're just
about a
looking
foot
at it.
higher?
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's like
Existing
24
picture.
inches of just additional color that we didn't have before. But it will not be black any longer. It will be that
That
kind
black
of
green.
green,
Yeah.
hunter green
Green.
instead of black.
all the way down to the sidewalk.
Yes,
Correct.
which
Yes.
is currently black.
Right,
Correct.
And is that all brick?
Yeah,
Correct.
that's all.
yeah,
The
Yeah.
black is
Yes.
brick. I'm not seeing any mortar joints in that black. Okay.
Yeah, no,
It
it's,
just
it
doesn't
it all
show
is,
up.
yeah.
They're just adding painting
Yeah.
about this much more.
No, I understand that. I just want to make, is that all brick that's around the windows is what I'm questioning. That's already black.
it's
Or
already
it's
black, yeah.
Yes.
That looks like a panel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other further discussion?
No, I don't.
If not, motion would be in order, state the finding of fact.
Paul, real quick, sorry to interrupt. I would just remind the commission that, per our guidelines, we don't recommend painting brick
Right,
unless it's already been painted. And that, approving painting brick, for one project, sets a precedent for future projects as well. So just keep that in mind.
Pretty slow.
yes.
if We do it for one.
Right.
And,
We had previous approval,
But-
yeah.
There's a precedent.
yeah,
Yeah.
but every project is new and every project is judged
I understand.
independent of the other ones. So,
24 inches more, that's a lot.
and perspective changes, the rules change, the guidelines change too. It's a while back.
If we don't approve the painting of the additional brick, do you guys have any ideas or options of what you might do?
It just might not, the sign might not look as nice because it won't have a nice pop behind it. But I mean, to fix that, we might have to go with an old, like the old Ricochet model, which is like signage that's hung and something in front, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're kind of bound by that band because that band is like right straight through it. So anything that you put in there has to be almost like a picture frame, just like the old Ricochet sign was. So
Yeah.
that's why we went with the black and the extra 18 inches or so, just to make it,
Yeah.
to make the signage pop off the building.
I hate to see that additional brick painted, but that's just my personal feeling.
Yeah, but I would not be
I do too.
supportive of that because there's no reversing that, especially with black,
On the
It's not black,
signage,
it's
Well,
the greenish
dark green,
color, yeah.
dark green. My
on
bad.
the two illustrations that I have, the first one shows Italian kitchen in the center. Is that the one you're trying to do? Or is it the second page?
It's the second page with the red checker tablecloth.
So that means Italian kitchen
Correct.
will be across, no, he just said,
No,
Oh.
you're talking this one.
Yes, that
This is the sign,
yes, correct.
which one?
The other one, that one, yes, that one.
So can you show?
So it's the second picture?
no, it's the first,
It's the first picture.
that's the one they're going.
Yeah, with the red, with the
Okay, with the
decals.
red, okay.
And that includes the vinyl on the windows?
Correct.
Did they not drop this down between
yeah, I know.
standards?
Oh, boy, what else could be done there?
Yeah, it was tough to deal with that line. That's why we came up with what we came up with and to see what you would say. We are bound by that band. It's pretty tough.
Could the words Italian and kitchen be dropped down between the rods that are holding the awning
And it would be,
on either side of the word Parisi's?
Well, the P still extends to that, which I have no Ricochet.
Yeah,
Is that fully covered?
with signage.
Yeah.
It's about Additional 24 inches, didn't it?
The thing about that, it doesn't permanently change the building. I mean, this looks nice.
I mean, I
Don't get me
can-
wrong.
We can take brick paint off a building, like I can get it removed if down the road. For
Power
them to,
washing does, I'm assuming
I
you're
can
thinking
get
power
it
wash.
taken off, I mean.
But it can do some damage to the brick though. You don't do
Oh,
it cor-
I mean, I've already re-tuck pointed and redid the whole building anyways. I mean, I put over $1.5 million in that building. So,
Ooh.
So if a new
now I'm
owner,
back doing another.
so if a new owner came in,
Get
you
an
would be
elevator?
willing to reverse the process?
I am the owner. I don't, I own the restaurant
Right.
with him, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not.
yeah.
I obviously have a large amount of money invested into that building and I'm not selling it. So I'm all about doing well for the community and putting more money into it and things. So to me, it's the look of it. Down the road, if we ever were to need it, I'll put something in writing that I'll take the paint off of the brick, exposing it if we need.
Is that something we could bind him to? I didn't.
I
think
doubt
so
it
either.
unless we've got a.
Well, we
legal
can ask
expert
our attorney.
Listening.
Conditioning approval on removal of paint color. I don't see anything in our ordinance that prohibit that.
And if you look at Prime, they've went all the way up to those as well, but they
Yes.
put wood paneling over all of theirs.
Because we have to look at all of the.
Yeah.
Details and the options. In your opinion, if you were to sell the building, would it still bind the next owner to do the same thing?
It would bind him.
But it wouldn't go with the building? Or would it because it's in the historic district?
The owner, anything that we want to bind him to, like if he sold it, that condition of changing the exterior, lease or contract, binding on successors and assigns, and that would be the condition you would put it in the approval would be binding on present and future owners.
Okay,
So that would be something you would have to disclose to any.
Cause,
purchaser.
yeah,
and I know you don't plan to sell,
Right.
Yeah.
but we have to think more than 20 years down the
Yeah,
road.
that's it.
We
No, I
get one
understand.
shot at
I
this.
understand.
yeah. And I see the point too. I mean, the natural transition of the color does come from that banding that's,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. It looks nice.
yeah,
Yes.
and I do get that.
So are we only talking about the top 24 inches of black?
It's
No, we're not-
Green,
not
dark
green.
green.
Dark, gotta be green.
Dark green.
Our
Ink's
renderings
expensive.
make it
Yeah,
look
currently it's black and then we just plan on replacing that with the green plus the 20, whatever the 18 or 20.
Additional 24.
Correct.
no changes to awning, no.
You're not gonna
changes-
want to go above that
No, no, no,
limestone
no.
ledge next to
I don't want to
your-
spend more money on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I just want to give it a little bit of fresh life and, and probably use a very good wipeable surface paint so it can be cleaned better and,
Mhm.
withstand.
Mhm.
So,
Who would be responsible for writing the, Your Honor? Lawyer? Who would be
Esquire.
responsible for that?
We could draft something up that is.
Yeah.
That has that condition as part of the approval of the board,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
And you're willing to
You,
go
and
with
you'll be
that.
willing to
I'm
do,
fine,
you'll be
sure.
doing that then?
so
Okay.
would that be based off of if a future change that they wanted to change elevations that, okay, well, now you have to come in for approval?
It would be any exterior change in this
Yeah.
district, right?
You
Yeah.
have to come in anyway.
So as of now, it will, even if, say, Parisi's doesn't make it, which we're not even gonna talk like that, right? That it's now called Dedamores, right? And I like the green, it stays the green. That's it. Now, if, say, Dedamores comes in and says, no, I wanna change it all to this. It has to go back to original brick and you would have to approve anything of that, right?
Mhm.
That's-
Yeah.
Those are the scenarios you have to
Yeah.
go through.
Yeah.
When is that trigger gonna be?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
When is that?
well, yeah. and
Just
Square's
if there was a
150
future
years old,
change
so
in
it'll be a
operation,
while.
it would have to be approved for that going forward.
But is that only if he would want to do something? But he would be right up to the limestone ledge. If a future restaurant.
Yeah.
Somebody, hardware store,
Yeah,
wanted to change it to a dark blue, would that be affected by that kind of term?
Whatever you'd like to do, it's.
why don't we trigger it on use?
If there's a change in ownership, it goes back.
Mm.
If there's a change, if there's an updated request, it goes back. This is a one-time, this project only condition.
Right.
What I'm hearing from the board.
Right.
That we're gonna let you do this, but any other future change or future owner that comes in, that paint's coming off.
But only the top 24 inches we're
Right.
talking
Top
about today.
24.
And
Only the
rest is already-
additional.
yeah.
Only
And
the
if it
additional.
stayed Parisi's, but I sold the building, say in 20 years, but it was Parisi's is still going, it's fine because it goes with it. It's not just on me. If I sold, then the band has to come off, right? If Parisi's is still in business for 30 years,
There's a new owner and a change in request for the exterior signage or any exterior changes, that's where you would want it to be.
Yeah.
You would have to come back.
Okay.
And we could say, oh, it's gonna stay, whoever's sitting up here in 20 years.
Yeah.
And say, oh, it's gonna stay Parisi's,
Yeah.
it can stay the way it is.
yeah,
Yeah,
Or whoever's sitting here would have the right to say, nope, we don't want the painted brick, you agreed to get it off, you
Yep.
gotta get it off,
That's a little different.
Mhm.
because
okay?
Stays the restaurant, but he sells out, he's retiring in Florida. And new owner comes in and buys out the restaurant or, assumes the LLC obligations or buys that site. But it stays Parisi's and it stays, we're not doing anything to the outside, what would you like to have happen? Is it
I don't
change
think,
or not
you do, I don't think you need anything to change.
Then I think it could stay.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if they come out and they wanna make exterior changes,
Then,
whether it's current owner or future owner, then we have the ability, or you have the ability to say.
Right.
Pull that paint off. For
Right.
the top 24, 18 to 24 inches we're talking about.
right,
yes, I'm good with that.
I'm good with that.
You
Yeah.
good with
All
that?
right,
Yeah.
we're all
yeah.
on the same page, I
Yeah.
think. You okay with that, Paul?
Yeah, I'm okay with that, as long as it come off,
I have a question.
like that.
Oh, wait, Blake has a question.
I just wonder about future enforcement, precedent setting across all the districts. I mean, this is, I appreciate the aesthetic, what they're going after, and it looks really nice, no doubt, but I think we're talking about, 10, 12 courses of brick. I think the sign, it might not pop as much, but that's what we're arguing over, if the sign pops or not. So I think we need to make sure that the guidelines are followed and not create some sort of strange legal framework for 12 courses of brick to be painted green. So I just am concerned, in 20 years, 50 years, or 1 year, are people really going to want to enforce this motion that's being made when we have trouble enough enforcing fines and other motions across the districts?
That's an excellent point. We've had some legal issues that we were told were enforceable. And we did not have them enforced.
May I
So
say,
that gives us less confidence. It gives me less confidence.
what I was gonna say was if somebody wanted to change this to a hardware store and just leave it the way it was, I don't know why we could have an objection to that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already been altered. But it's someone that wants to make a change to its existing is the one that we're trying to stop without having a chance to reveal it.
Yeah.
It's just that. Because the future, who knows anything will be going on in 10, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years.
Let's hope the next door neighbors all start changing it and improving. There's a lot,
Yeah,
I wish
I
more people
noticed
in
that.
this downtown would spend the money, but they're not.
Yeah,
Boy, it's,
And I'm here
Yeah,
in
this-
front of you, trying to do right by that.
I don't
And
know.
Chris has done amazing work on other buildings on the
Mm.
square
Yes.
that he owns as well. so.
yes.
I'm pretty good with this.
Make a motion, man.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion for a certificate of appropriateness for the, there we go. A 2508 Chris Pappas petitioner, Dillinger Holdings LLC owner for 115 West Joliet Street. The drawing, are we naming this drawing somehow? Because there's more than one. The drawing showing the exterior being raised, exterior background of the coloring being raised to the bottom of the limestone ledge of the second floor. Approximately 24 inches of additional coloring on the brick from its existing dark color. The 24 inches that are added coloring would be subject to future review. And now we're going to need some help with this language. Future review in the event of a change that affects that top portion of the facade. The fonts, message, and wording on the windows and doors, I find acceptable. I hope to approve. And any additional language that we might have to help bind a future owner or a future change would be appreciated.
The additional painting of green on the brick up to the limestone ledge is subject to further review of the board. The board reserves the right to request the current owner and or a future owner to remove the green painting on that additional 18 to 24 inches if a request to change the exterior of the building is made to this board.
That help?
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to address the lighting, gonna be the same? or-
And the lighting doesn't change, does it?
No.
It really pops out. I think it looks nice.
Thank you.
Is my motion.
Okay, there's a
Looking for
motion on the floor. There a second on that motion.
I will second.
Any further discussion on the motion? Everybody knows? Okay. Josh, call the roll, please.
Jim Kendall,
No.
Laura Sauerman,
No,
Rich Osterman,
Yes.
Donna Catalana,
Yes.
Paul Bremer.
No. Okay, it's a 3-2 against as presented. Is the petitioner willing to give the 24 inches of painting, additional painting, and we can approve the rest of it?
Well, it's tough because we're approving a sign right now, right, too?
Yeah.
So if I
Now your
have to just
signage
say that
changes.
24 inches is not going to change, the color has been approved? Change from black to green,
Correct,
okay, and the sign, all the signage is approved,
correct.
but not changing the 24-inch band. So I have to confirm that that's the sign that I want because we're getting approval on that sign today.
If I may, if you do decide to move on the brick, signage can be administratively approved by myself and Blake. So at least you wouldn't have to wait for another meeting to come back for signage.
And we'll just have to get it rendered up and see how it looks. Maybe
Yeah, I'm
adjust
trying
some
to
things.
work with future use and change and everything, so I mean, I'm trying to accept it, but
Question. Would the board listen to maybe doing a panel that would cover that brick and then it would be painted green? But if at some point in time, there's a change, that panel comes off and the brick is already there. And in lieu of painting the brick and then having to try to remove it, is it something we could do a panel over it that is painted and yet the brick is still intact, unpainted and preserved, that could be removed if there's a change? Blake, thoughts on that?
I think that's a reasonable compromise. A durable board to attach to the brick. Yeah, I could see that.
it's not glued on. We've had other buildings.
So the prior, I'm sorry to interrupt you, the prior sign from Ricochet Tacos was a painting banner. that banner that was probably like 350 pounds that was up there. And now that we're adding signage with Italian kitchen on the left and right, now we're having a panel that's the full length of the building that's going to be, is that what we're, that we're?
That's what my thought,
Okay.
is that this way, it's a much easier removal, you're attached, however the panel is, it's attached to the wall into the mortar, the brick is intact. And now it's just and then if the building changes owner, or if no longer a restaurant or something like that, we could request the paneling be removed and the brick is all intact.
I would just say, as a construction that I build buildings every day, Lori, you're familiar with the Nichiha products that we've seen on a lot of this. That's what I'm envisioning, is putting a panel that still looks like brick that's painted that color. That would probably go up there. That's a cleat system that gets put on the brick. You're talking moisture, you're talking things behind it. It's probably easier to just paint and have the liability of taking that off with an acid wash. We'll get that off and we'll fully expose the brick again. I mean, I'm just thinking longevity of what holds up, but I would have to fully frame out something way more holes than existing brick to cover a panel than just putting a paint to then to have it professionally removed. You know, I think it would hurt the brick more putting a full panel up than it would just painting it and me removing it. Just a construction side.
Great.
As you can see, some of the panels that they put over all the finishes that prime, I mean, it's starting to warp, those type of
They have to be
fake
replaced.
wood type stuff. I mean, I would put the Nichiha product just to keep a brick pattern because you have the brick, but like matching joints and that, and then drilling in, it's a cleat system that it all goes, and then I have to fully like have it for moisture behind it, and I think it would be more holes in the building.
Or damage to the building.
Yeah.
Well, the vote was taken and it got denied, so we're just trying to work out a compromise here. You want to just get back with Josh and then Blake and see about your sign then and see. That's how it stands right now. Everything's approved but that top 24 inches.
Josh, you just prefer.
We could do that too. Well, but yeah, I would say if you so same thing.
Okay. And the concern we have right now is
Painting.
Painting the
painting
brick.
brick, but you're approving potentially me sticking panels on there and doing that for the 24-inch?
We haven't technically
haven't-
voted.
We
on it
haven't
yet.
voted on
Okay,
that.
okay.
It was just,
I'm just confirming out
I
loud.
discussed,
Yeah.
and I was visualizing that, you know, is this some type of aluminum panel that is simply attached, a signage thing, it's like 1/8 something like that, that just goes across and therefore is easily removed, painted, vinylized, whatever you want to call it, that the brick isn't painted.
And would that be tight to the brick or would it be
I
it
assume-
stayed off a 1/4 inch,
I
half
assume
inch?
they would be tight to the brick. I mean, a lot of the other signage that we've approved, that is the vinyl, or not vinyl, it's aluminum piece, metal is just simply attached to the brick.
But also bear in mind that signage still has to fall within certain parameters. So if you're talking about signage to cover that entire panel, that probably wouldn't be allowed by ordinance.
Well, I again, that I'm now looking at is approving the panel system. Is that signage or just? Okay,
It's just a background.
I'm so excited that you got Billy Parisi coming in. I don't want to stop the project, but painting brick is something we just know that when we let you do 12 courses, the next person asks for 15 courses, the next person says, well, you let him do it, so I need to do it. And while we take them individually, we also know how people work and what the perspective, the perception is. So if we, again, it looks great. I just wish that wasn't brick. It was already painted.
We can't. So as of right now, it's all been denied on that vote, because you said signage, you said all of it, it's all been denied.
Nothing approved at this point.
But
So we would have to come back,
But
because you've
the
already.
the
right?
sign can be approved administratively without another meeting.
Motion to be made. What the brick painted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We already had a full
Yeah.
blown motion covering everything.
right.
That was denied. Now, if someone wants to make a motion, everything presented, the cows, all that other stuff, yet not 24 inch of green painted brick, that done, then they can work on their own to see if sign administrative approval, Josh, and the department. But I think,
Yeah,
we like everything but.
I'll make a motion that, for 25, HP 2508, that the petitioner is requesting the existing black area around the facade be changed to a dark green colored paint, that vinyl lettering on the windows and door is approved, that the vinyl checkerboard tablecloth pattern in the transom windows will be internally mounted and is removable. The area above the existing painted area, the 18 to 24 inches of brick will not be painted at this time.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I can second that.
Okay, motion is second. Any further discussion on this motion?
Nope.
Josh, call the roll?
Jim Kendall,
Yes.
Laura Sauerman,
Yes.
Rich Osterman.
yes,
Donna Catalano,
Yes.
Paul Bremer.
Yes.
thank
Okay,
you.
you got so just get with Josh and then Blake, and then hopefully they'll come up with a staff approval for you for your sign then.
Cool.
And then I need a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness for petition 2508.
I so move.
Motion by Jim. Is there a second?
second,
Second? Any further discussion? Josh, call the roll?
Jim Kendall,
Yes.
Laura Sauerman,
Yes.
Rich Osterman.
yes,
Donna Catalano,
Yes.
Paul Bremer.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
All right,
No
thank
problem.
you.
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank
looks
you.
nice,
Thank
It
you.
looks very nice.
whatever works out.
Good luck.
I wish them success.
Yes. Yeah. No, I don't want to see that brick painted. No. So, okay, now we got petition 2509. Kenneth Turner, petitioner, owner requests certificate of appropriateness for repairs on a home at 218 E Clark Street. Josh, you gonna do the presentation?
Yes,
Okay.
the property owner reached out before the meeting here, called him to work. So he asked if I would just present on his behalf so we can move forward. What he's looking to do on the rear of his house is take down the current small chimney he has and replace it with a cap vent for improved airflow. Apparently the one that is currently up now is collapsing in on itself, basically preventing any circulation from going through. And with it being on the back of his house, he didn't want to go through the effort since you couldn't be seen from the street. So I actually have a picture here that I can show you of what he's looking to swap it out to. Dimensions on it are about half, foot and a half by foot and a half, and then about 2 feet tall. So I'll pass this around for you.
Question. Do we have a feel for where it is placed, about
Huh?
how, will
Yeah,
it be
yeah.
taller
I saw it
than
earlier.
the roof line, the very peak of the roof?
With where it is placed on the back of the house, it should not be seen from the street. If you were to be level with the roof, you should be able to see it, from roughly 20. But from street level, I don't believe you would be able to.
How tall is it? Sorry, Josh, I can't hear you too well.
Oh, sorry, about 2 feet tall.
Okay, so it probably doesn't go above the ridge line then?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was my one concern. I mean, the current chimney now, you can't really see from the street either. And it's not a decorative chimney or anything like that, so it's a purely functional chimney. So I didn't have an issue with the request, as long as it's not this silver pipe sticking up 2 feet above the ridge line, but doesn't appear that that will be the case.
Okay,
Only a small portion of the chimney is even visible from the street.
Or it's not.
The rest
it's
is
not, it's not.
not at all visible from the
No.
street.
The existing, it's not.
Why are we worried about it?
Well, because he's just doing what he's supposed to.
Yeah, this is
I
a
thought
home,
it was
and,
visible.
and you know what, actually, we're gonna give this homeowner a lot of credit. Technically, he had the ability to not go through this process, or Blake and I could have administratively approved it, but he wanted to make sure he was on the up and up with everything he was doing.
Much
Okay.
appreciated.
Much appreciated,
All
yeah.
right, well, just a question though.
All right, any, Blake, you got any more comments?
Let me just double check here. No, I don't think so. It seems pretty, straightforward, and my only thing was that it's not visible and it doesn't appear that it will be, so.
Okay, thank you. I'll turn it back to the commission.
I said I'll make a motion
Okay,
for HP 2509, 218 East Clark Street. Owner wants to remove an existing brick chimney that is in desperate need of repair or rebuilt, and will replace it with a metal chimney. Is that the best way of calling
Yeah,
it?
That's the-
Cap.
Capped chimney, capped vent chimney, per proposal.
okay, I have a motion. There a second to that.
Second,
Second, any further discussion? John, call the roll?
Jim Kendall,
Yes.
Laura Sauerman,
Yes.
Rich Osterlin.
yes,
Donna Catalano,
Yes,
Paul Brenner.
Yes. Okay, that's approved. Now we need a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness
So
for
moved.
2509.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Laura, there a second?
second,
Any further discussion? John, call the roll again?
Jim Kendall,
Yes.
Laura Sauerman.
Yeah.
Rich Osterlin.
yes.
Donna Catalano,
yes.
Paul Bremer.
Yes. Okay, he's approved. Thank
Thank
you. Miscellaneous, you got anything, John? Blake, you got anything to bring up?
No, thank you.
Okay, before I go to the board members, it is a public meeting, so anybody out there in the audience wants to make a comment, just stand and state your name and address for the record. The floor is open. Going once, twice, 3 times. We'll close the public portion. Is there anybody on Zoom or Facebook with any? Okay. All right. Any board member got any items they want to discuss? Okay, not hearing any, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Okay, there a second? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed? Okay, thank you.